the 7th Action Summer, and this is our first Action Summer in Indianapolis.
We have had the pleasure of having 2 action teams come through Indianapolis and stay with us and do work with us this summer, starting week after 4th of July. Action has been helping us remodel 1435, which is the property we just recently purchased this spring. We have hopes for it to house both students and potentially a family of 6 at some point in the future.
In the very beginning of the summer, we had just purchased it, and a lot of the house was rotting, and there was tile floor, and then tile floor, and then subfloor, and then subfloor, and tile floor, and we had to rip all that out.
Mike Stapp and Mike Coney and I went up on the roof, and we got to take down both of the chimneys. They were pretty old and pretty bad shape, so it didn't take a lot of work.
The first team actually built the shed that's just behind the house. They did a good job on that. They also finished the demo work that we had going. The current team has been working on building the house back up from the torn down shape.
A lot of stuff has been going on this week with construction in terms of drywall, building new doorways, taking out old studs to put in new studs in the walls.
I have been working on taking out some stumps, both behind this house here, the duplex. We've cut down some trees and dug out stumps, and behind 1435.
On staff here in Indianapolis on the Triangle, running the Action Summer, has been 3 members of the Missionary Company, while the other 14 folks in the Missionary Company have been able to stay on the South Side and do mission work full-time all summer long. Mission work is really a full-time job. The action teams have enabled us to multiply our efforts amazingly.
So a typical day with the action team includes wake up at 6, breakfast at 6:30, and then it's soon after that is morning prayer for the students, staff meeting for the staff, and then there's morning prayer all together. We have lunch at noon, and there's a lot of dirty people at lunch, often covered in black, and then there's more work for the rest of the day, and people get cleaned up in time to have dinner, and then there's evening sessions after dinner, and discussion groups after that.
There's a lot of thought-provoking talks from Nick and Brian. I've had to really think hard about Jesus and how I relate to Jesus.
They've given me a lot to think about. Some of the topics were poverty and making decisions for the Lord, and it's just been really good and really interesting and thought-provoking.
It kind of blows your mind that we can really be like Jesus if we really choose to, It's not just out there. If you look, there are people doing it.
I just feel like I've learned a whole ton about poverty and about city building and how I can apply that to my particular situation as a high schooler in action.
We did some mission work at the end of last week. I ended up going out with Abe. The highlight was definitely we came to a park at one point and started talking to these 2 boys. We ended up praying with both of them for baptism in the Holy Spirit.
We got an opportunity to go and tell Bible stories to little children, and when you tell the stories, the kids will ask you to tell it a second time, a third time, a fourth time, and as many times as you can tell it. And it was just really fun.
My experience with Action started on the very first Action Summer in 2002. I was able to observe Sean Connolly and Nick Hollivati and Nathan Barrett and JT, all of those guys working really hard at these jobs, and I was able to learn how to run things from them, how to feel out what's going on, what the Lord's doing.
One thing I learned from the summer was a lot of how to rely on the Lord. Plans were constantly changing. as to what we were doing. And the Lord always came through.
So I've been on a lot of action trips to Allendale. It's been a desire of mine to be staff for a long time. It's been a real honor to work with the action students and the adults who come down on the trips.
I've gone on 8 or 9 action trips, both to Allendale and Indianapolis. Came down on the first action trip to Indy, and we left, and then I came back to bring the second trip down.
This is my first action trip, actually. Everything about it has been great. Like the food, the work. I love working in the house, like putting up drywall and all that. I've been learning a ton.
One thing that's really cool about coming to an action trip is that you get to meet people from other branches that are kind of in your same boat. It's like most of the people are in action, and so you get to build relationships like based around like the right things, and it's definitely something that you take with you because you just because you focus your relationship about something so good as God, like that relationship will definitely last.
When I decided to join the People of Praise, I decided I was all in everything, and this is something I wanted to do. I want to aid the missionaries here. I want to help any way I can.
There's a bunch of girls living on one side of the duplex. Ray and Robin live on the other side, and then there's a bunch of guys living in 1444. So there's just this explosion of people all over the triangle. And having all these people, having people of different ages, gives the triangle a real sense of a city.
We're looking forward to next summer and all of the work. If you wanted to, you really could come down anytime to Indianapolis, and we'd have plenty of stuff for you to do, whether that's mowing the lawn or helping us with a plumbing project. Fall break teams, spring break teams, bring them on. We're looking forward to having you guys in as often as possible.